Light is like water. At Christmas, the children asked for a robot again.
Okay, said the dad. We'll buy it when we return to Cartagena.
Toto, who was 9 years old, and Joel 7 were more determined than their parents believed.
No, they caught us. We need no one here.
First of all, said the mother, here there aren't any more navigable waters than those that come from the shower. She and her husband were right. In Cartagena de India's house there was a yard with a dog on the bay, and a shelter for 2 large yachts. But here in Madrid, they lived cramped together on the 5th floor of 47 the Castellana Road. But at the end, neither he nor she could refuse, because they had promised them a robot with sextant and compass if they obtained perfect grades on the 3rd grade, and they had obtained it. So Dad bought everything without saying anything to his wife, who was the most reluctant to pay debts. It was a beautiful aluminum boat with a golden line at the waterline.
The boat is in the garage, said the father at lunch. The problem is that there is no way to get it up, neither through the elevator nor the stairs. There's no more space in the garage.
However, the following Saturday afternoon, the children invited their classmates to bring the boat up the stairs, and they managed to get it to the utility room.
Congratulations. Dad said, now what?
No, nothing.
The children said. All we wanted was to have the robot in the room.
And it is there.
On Wednesday night, like every Wednesday, the parents went to the movies. The children, masters of the house, closed the doors and windows and broke the bulb of one of the lamps in the room. A stream of golden and fresh light as water began to flow from the broken bulb, and they let it run until the level reached 8 centimeters. Then they cut the power, they got the boat out, and sailed at will through the island of the house.
This fabulous adventure was the result of an offhand comment of mine when participating in a seminar on the poetry of domestic tools. Toto asked me how the light is lit by just pressing a button, and I didn't have the courage to think twice about the answer. The light is like water, I said. You open the tap and it comes out.
So they kept on sailing Wednesday night, learning how to use the sextant and compass until the parents came home and found them sleeping like angels on dry land. Months later, eager to further, they asked for an underwater fishing equipment, with all included masks, fins, tanks, and air guns.
It is already bad to have a robot into the utility room that works for nothing, said the father. But it's worse that they want to have scuba diving equipment.
And if we get gold gardenias for the first semester?
Joel said.
No, said the mother, freaked. No more. The father reproached her inflexibility. These children don't win even a nail for doing their duty, she said. But on a whim, they are able to win the t-shirt share. The parents finally said neither yes nor no. But Toto and Joel, who had been the last in the 2 previous years, in July won 2 gold gardenias and the public recognition of the principal. That same afternoon, without having asked again, they found in the bedroom the scuba equipment in its original packaging. So the following Wednesday, while the parents watched Last Tango in Paris, they filled the apartment up to 2 meters. They dug like tame sharks under furniture and beds, and rescued things from the depths of light that had been lost in the dark for years. In the award ceremony at the end of the year, the brothers were jailed as an example for the school, and they were given certificates of excellence. This time, They didn't have to ask for anything because their parents asked them what they wanted. They were so reasonable that the only thing they wanted was a party at home to entertain their classmates.
The father, along with his wife, was happy. "It is a test of maturity," he said.
God hears you, said the mother. The following Wednesday, while the parents were watching the battle of elders, people who went through the Castellana road saw a cascade of light falling from an old building hidden among the trees. It was coming down through the balconies. It poured in torrents down the facade, and it was flowing through the great avenue in a golden stream that illuminated the city to the Guadarrama. Responding to the emergency calls, the firefighters broke into the fifth floor and they found the place filled with light to the ceiling. The sofa and chairs, covered in the leopard skin, were floating in the room at different levels. Household tools, in the fullness of their poetry with his own wings flying through the sky of the kitchen. The instruments of the marching band that the kids used to dance floated out of control between the colorful fishes relaxed of the mother's aquarium, who were the only ones alive and happy floating in the vast bright swamp. All toothbrushes floating in the bathroom. That's condoms, mom's jars of cold cream and dental replacement, and the TV in the master's bedroom floated sideways. Still on in the last episode of the late night adult film, at the end of the hall, floating between two stools, Toto was sitting in the stern of the boat, clinging to the oars and wearing the mast, searching for the lighthouse of the port until the air of the tanks ran out, and Joel floated on the bow still looking for the height of the North Star with the sextant, and their 37 classmates floating throughout the house, immortalized in the moment of being in the pot of geraniums, of singing the school song with the lyrics changed by birds to mock the principal, of sneaking a glass of Dad's brandy bottle. They had opened so many lights at the same time that the house had overflowed, and the whole fourth grade elementary school in San Julian de Hospitaller had drowned on the fifth floor of 47 de Castellano Road. In Madrid of Spain, a remote city of burning summers and icy winds, without sea or river, and whose mainland inhabitants never masters in science of sailing in the light.